Hi, I'm Ron Spaghettiman Fiedel. The other day after a bunch of games, a friend of mine came up to me and said, I wish I could play the short game like you, stay at the kitchen line with confidence. I suggested she do a drill session with me, and I also decided to record it. So this is it. I give you a 3.5-minute introduction to what we're doing, or a preview, and then we'll jump into the film. What is going through your mind right now? Are you trying to put a certain feel in your shot or anything like that?
For me, when I'm just starting to warm up, I just want to make sure it goes over the net.
Over the net. That's a good. So as I'm going through, when I'm warming up, I definitely like to try and develop my topspin.
Oh.
That's where. So
after the bounce is what you're saying?
After the bounce. So the ball goes up, it crests. I want it to be coming back down. That doesn't give me friction, but a ball that's hitting against my paddle gives me friction. Pop, you can hear
so that's probably one of my weaknesses if I am recognizing, what's good and what's not, what needs work, would be my topspin. I'm not a big topspin person. I would love to be. That's something that is in my mind that's coming for me, but I'd like to work on it.
That's right.
I've got other angles and things that I feel like I've got a good grip on, but topspin is not one of them. So
yeah, so it takes a lot of drilling and a lot of practice.
So the thing about drilling that I really like is that you can focus on one or two things and refining it and fine-tuning it and actually developing it, that muscle memory, versus just trying a whole bunch of different things.
Right.
So
one other thing I'd like to see if you could do is try and put your other hand on the paddle. You're definitely a wide arm. You're kind of like a sword fighter all the time.
Balance, I do.
And that can be great in the battles, but when you're kind of doing that, you're not really facing the ball. So if you get in a dogfight and you start to turn your body, you're gonna have a harder time. But now I've done it so much, I often will let go. I will reach. I can now have that control with my left hand I never had before. So, I mean, it's a win-win. Also, defensively, now I'm facing the ball, and if I take my other hand, which it's on here always, and I've got a shot that's coming to the side, I can now take this hand and flip this over. So now I've even got faster hands because I'm flipping that over. It will be bigger the heavier a paddle is, because the ball is almost meaningless to it. If it was a 100-pound paddle, that ball would be like throwing it on the ground, right? It would give you exactly what you wanted. It didn't matter if I hit it here, 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 here. So that paddle makes the sweet spot bigger when I have a second hand on it.
So that I understand, when the ball comes over, my left arm is taking control.
No.
No.
Not on that side. So
on this side, my right arm is still, this is just here for hooks.
Right here, this is because you're getting ready to be in the ready position.
Okay.
You don't know that I would be hitting it to your forehand.
But I'm still going to just use one.
I'm hitting it to your forehand just to get you to use
Got it. But I still hit it with this one.
Then once you've done that a couple times, I'm going to hit it to your backhand, but now you're going to be connected.
Okay.
So the more topspin you can hit, the more angles you can hit, the more you can spread your player out. It's an offensive weapon that is a must at a higher level.
Right.
Instead, you can take time, control it, tell the ball where to go, and give that shot some meaning and some purpose.
So I'm just saying, you're going to be in my head when you're not even there. I'm not
Good,
sure I
then
like that too much.
I've accomplished what I wanted. Right?
Together and drill.
There we go. Yeah, we just did a drill session.
Right.
So, hi, I'm Ron Spaghettiman Fiedel, and I am here with Trixie. What's your last name?
Mangold.
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 Yeah.
All right. Oop. We got a lot of winds here today.
A lot.
Get up in there, Trixie. Oops. So as you're warming up, Trixie, I asked this to Gary too. What is going through your mind right now? What are you trying to warm up?
Focus on where I'm hitting it.
Are you trying to put a certain feel into your shot or anything like that?
For me, when I'm just starting to warm up, I just want to make sure it goes over the net.
Over the net, that's a good one. Because anything in the net is over. Done.
And I'm one of those people who, whether it's right or wrong, I try to keep my errors down. Like, that's important to me.
That you do what?
That I keep my errors down. So I'd rather hit a ball too high than in the net, right?
Right.
So that's just...
Yep. So as I'm going through, when I'm warming up, I definitely like to try and develop my topspin.
Oh.
That's where I'm getting the feel of it right now. Is every shot that I take, I put it in the slot if I can. The slot being a ball that's falling, not coming up. That's not my favorite. Or a shot that's at the top. I want a shot where the ball is actually dropping back downwards. So
After the bounce is what you're saying?
after the bounce, so the ball goes up, it crests, I want it to be coming back down. All that's on its way down builds in natural time. So you can take a look at where your opponent is. So it buys you a lot of time.
Sure.
The second thing is the ball is in a better position to be hit with the a 90-degree angle to the paddle. So that creates friction. If I'm going with the ball, that doesn't give me friction, but a ball that's in against my paddle gives me friction. Pop, you can hear
So
it.
that's probably one of my weaknesses, if I am recognizing, what's good and what's not, what needs work, would be my topspin. I'm not a big topspin person. I would love to. That's something that's in my mind that's coming from me, that I'd like to work on it.
That's right.
I've got other angles and things that I feel like I've got a good grip on, but topspin is not one of them. So
Yeah.
that's
So
something I'd like
it
to
takes a
develop.
lot of drilling and a lot of practice. And that is, I agree, admit too, it is not something that I was necessarily very good at. It's something I've had to work on, and something I also have had to work on was my two-handed backhand. I never did this anything before pre-COVID. And I've taught myself and I've realized that that topspin is ever so key, and the two-handed backhand is also ever so key for quick hands. It helps me initiate topspin on the backhand. So I am trying to start low and finish above the ball to incorporate the spin. And so when I let the ball fall, instead of coming up with the ball and it's coming down, then it goes against it and I get the friction. Pat, even though it's a short shot, I can get it much more here.
So I think when I was trying to figure out topspin, I thought it was a lot of wrist,
Yeah, it's not.
and it's not.
It's not. It's
So I
an arm.
think that's deceiving. When
Yeah.
you watch people, or if you're watching others, it appears that they're flicking like this, but they're not. And I hurt my wrist over that.
Right.
So I had to start wearing a band, and I was, trying to nurse it. And it was hurt for
Yeah.
a while. Then I realized it's still stationary. It's the motion,
Yep.
but it's not the flick of the wrist.
Right.
So that's
It's also,
one of the things.
it's a lot of the upper, it's all the big muscles in reality. It's just lifting up. I mean, just the way I'm going like this, my paddle's going from low to high. All I'm doing is going from bent over to standing up. So if I add that in my knees, I've got even more and more and more, and I'm not done one thing with my wrist yet. That's
So
just
don't
the
you think
fine
that
tune.
that's deceiving? Like, people think that pickleball is all their arms and motion
Yeah.
of arms and all that kind of stuff, and it really isn't. It's
not.
a
It's-
whole body.
It's a whole
movement.
body, big muscles. The big muscles are the best ones to use. So you gotta be low in this game for most people. Some people are upright players, but the consistency comes by allowing that ball to fall. if you can get it to where that ball's coming down every time, staying behind it, now you can get your paddle below the ball, coming up against it and get above the ball. If you short hop it, you're gonna backspin it almost every time.
So as you're saying that, and now that's of course what I'm going to start thinking about, is I think when people get on the court, they're trying to think about too many things.
Yeah.
So the thing about drilling that I really like is that you can focus on one or two things and you know, refining it and fine tuning it and actually developing it, that muscle memory, versus just trying a whole bunch of different things.
Right. So have purpose to your drill.
Right on. And I appreciate you talking about the line up front. I remind myself, and then when I get into rec play, I lose my brain.
Yeah.
And I just want to play,
Right.
you know. So I think it's important to get into that rec play. It's practice. It's time for you to practice what you've learned and honed those skills in drilling.
Right.
You know,
So-
people say, I'm only going to get better if I play with higher levels. I don't believe that's true.
Right.
You're only going to get better if you drill and
Right.
practice and create that
Exactly.
muscle
That's
memory.
where you get better.
Yeah, I
And
agree.
then you will get noticed by the better players. I mean, you will. Once you start to get into that upper category,
Right.
people will find you.
Right.
And you're going to have to put in some time and effort into it.
I
Very
agree.
few people
Almost like
are
owning
able to
your
do it.
spot. Like once you're up to that next level that you've been striving for, earn your spot there.
That's right.
Practice to get there.
That's right.
So I agree.
And so right now, I'm trying to get the ball to fall. And there you go. And you're putting now topspin.
Oh.
Good. Look at that.
Nope, that one I did too early.
Yep,
I saw it.
yep.
I saw the
and
difference.
you got the ball a little bit. It is windy right now, so it's an extra tough. Yeah, good. Go above.
Wow.
Got to go down lower. So
And I think I'm flipping.
one thing that I like to do when I do it is I pretend that I have a laser coming off of my paddle, and it's pointing at the ball basically. So wherever the ball is, I'm following it. It's always in between me and my pivot point. So that way, when a ball comes over here, I track the ball. And as it's falling, my hand comes down with it and follows the slot that it's going with. That way, when I follow it, my paddle is dropping. Then I let the last little bit of the ball hit the ground while my paddle still comes back. And as it comes back up, I'm now waiting for that ball to fall where I come back up. So this all puts me in the slot right here. So let's put it into motion. Just get some points into me and show. See how I. See how I'm pointing at the paddle in there, and the whole time, even when it comes off to the side, now my whole body rotates around, tracks it over, comes in, and then I'm coming
And
back
I think
through.
if you use that philosophy, I'm going to try it on the next few here. It's instead you're not reacting and trying to react to the ball. You're actually anticipating,
Correct.
which I like that.
Yes,
I
you're
try to do
far
that
more.
when I see a lob coming. I'm anticipating where it's going,
Yes.
and I can get back to it. I think the same thing is with this shot, so I'm going to try that now too.
Yes. So let's see how that ends up. There we go. Oh my gosh. There. So, one other thing I'd like to see if you could do is try and put your other hand on the paddle. You're definitely a wide arm. You're kind of like
I
a
use
sword
this hand
fighter
for
all the time.
balance. I do.
And that can be great in the battles. But when you're kind of doing that, you're not really facing the ball. So if you get in a dogfight and you start to turn your body, you're going to have a harder time. So you got to stay into it, and that's why I track it, and my body is always moving with the ball. My shoulder, so I'm always facing it. And that way, I limit how I can get caught being one way or another. And so, and the more I am that way too, then the more comfortable I am standing right at the line instead of coming back, kind of buying time. So that's what I want you to try. Just try and put that second hand on there right now.
Actually,
Try and
on
be
the
a little
paddle.
bit more square.
Okay.
you can let go, and that's the beauty of it, is because, again, I didn't know how to do this until COVID, and I decided I got to change some things about my game. And one of the things I noticed as I was watching hundreds of hours of tape is the people that had a whippy grip had more whip in their shots. They were getting better roll. They were getting better kind of everything. And so I taught myself. I used to hold the paddle like this. At COVID, I have now re-gripped it down. And that was one hard thing. After probably 8 years of playing, I switched my grip that drastically. And that was very difficult. I didn't tell anybody I was doing it either.
Yeah.
I just did it over at our normal regular games, and I suffered some, defeats that I shouldn't have, but man, it's helped the game tremendously.
Sometimes it's hard to change that old pattern and
yeah.
create.
Oh man, that's the hardest thing, because I would always find myself gripping back up. And so when I am warming up anything in here, I still have to tell myself, because it's so new and it's not natural, that I need to get my hand on there, second hand, get that feeling going in there. But now I've done it so much, I often will let go. I will reach. I can now have that control with my left hand I never had before. So, I mean, it's a win-win. Also, defensively, now I'm facing the ball, and if I take my other hand, which it's on here always, and I've got a shot that's coming to the side, I can now take this hand and flip this over. So now I've even got faster hands because I'm flipping that over. So try and do this. Try and go with the two-handed backhand right now. Stay up the line, wait for the ball to fall.
This ex-racquetball player that usually, all my reaches are with my backhand. I'll try it.
Okay, so let's try this right now. You have to think of that. Oh, good. Okay, you're
scooch
you
back.
are. You are like this.
I'm scooching.
Yeah, I know. You're like this
wow.
now. So try and get it off to the side.
Okay.
Try and. Okay, I know it's awkward for you. So here's the other thing. I can, because the paddle goes right in, it also stabilizes my paddle. The more it gives me weight on the paddle. The more weight you have, the more stable the ball will hit it, the sweeter the sweet spot is. Everything will be bigger the heavier a paddle is, because the ball is almost meaningless to it. If it was a 100-pound paddle, that ball would be like throwing it on the ground, right? It would give you exactly what you wanted. It didn't matter if I hit it here, 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 here. So that paddle makes the sweet spot bigger when I have a second hand on it, because I'm giving it more stability. It also squares my paddle up. If it's off ski wampus, as soon as I put it in here, I know where it's at again.
All right.
So there's so many benefits to a two-handed. So I want you to try and get in there. Try it and get below the ball and flip up above it. On this side here, try and track it. Track it, come back up. Try and incorporate that topspin. Topspin is aggressive play, right? Short hopping, you're hardly ever attacking. If you are attacking, it's a desperation attack going, for a shoulder or something. Not a forehand. Don't do a double-handed forehand. Okay, so let go on the forehands, keep it on the backs. And when you're doing it,
yeah, where is this hand going?
Yeah, I'm putting it right in there. This one is the old grip that I have. It's up on top. I have good connection there. Finger actually then goes on top, and it's not in the way of the other. It's almost like a golf grip.
Ow, so I'm confused. This is down. This comes on top.
Yeah.
Oh, I got it. I got it.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, my whole paddle just pushed for the wind.
Yeah, right? You're doing the forehand. Let go on that.
So that I understand, when the ball comes over, my left arm is taking control.
No.
Not
on that side. So
on this side, my right arm is still, because this is just here for hooks.
right here, this is because you're getting ready to be in the ready position.
Okay.
You don't know that I would be hitting it to your
But
forehand.
I'm still going to just use one.
I'm hitting it to your forehand just to get you to use
Got it. But I
letting
still
go.
hit it with this one.
Then once you've done
Got
that
it.
a couple times, I'm going to hit it to your backhand, but now you're going to be connected.
Okay.
Okay?
I didn't understand.
Okay, here we go. Good. There we go. And another one. Okay. No, let go. No, let go. There you go. All right, now I'm going to your backhand. Now you're going to see how I ended up. I had to reach. There was no way I was going with two, and there was no way I was getting this handle over there. I just let go and reached for that one over there. So forehand, yes. Oh, well, that's a
Sit.
that's a
It's a little wet.
okay. Forehand. There we go. I'm over here.
I know. I tried to check you.
Okay, good. Good. Excellent. There you go.
Oh, I
Yeah.
missed it.
So you just missed it, but you had the distance, absolutely. So the more topspin you can hit, the more angles you can hit, the more you can spread your player out. It's an offensive weapon that is a must at a higher level, right?
So, I'm just trying to remember to come back.
So as I'm coming in here, notice every time I grab it, I hit my shot, I come right back into the slot. Okay, I'm anticipating wherever you're going to go, I'm going to react to that, and I'm square to you and the ball. If the ball goes over here, I'm squaring my shoulders to it. Right? If my opponent's there, it comes over here, and now I'm playing this position, it's going over there, I'm squaring up to that ball. So this is the drill then, is to incorporate so that you don't have to think about it when you're playing. You're just going to know forehand is by its own hand, and the backhand is incorporated with my. You just got to get used to it, and going against a wall and stuff is great too, like in your garage or something. If you're just banging against a wall, getting that hitting and there and trying to just get that feeling going in with the two hands. You've got your line drawn on your wall, you know what I mean?
Yes.
And when you're doing it, you're trying to, as the ball would be hitting the wall, is it, you know, this is a singular drill. As it's hitting the wall, you've got your tape, you're actually trying to get the ball to spin topspin. You want to see the ball spinning topspin, and you want to see it on a downward trajectory as it hits and crosses either the net or on the wall. You want the ball coming down as it crosses this net, right? That is a much more difficult shot for your opponent to hit. The shot that's on its way down. Even though I'm trying to teach you to let a ball fall to get that incorporated in there. Usually if a ball's falling in the right spot, I'm now having to hit it from hopefully down here. I've got to bring it back up and over to get it back in. That's hard to do.
Right.
So that's why we're trying to get a ball to fall. Builds us time. We don't want to be hitting up here, somebody's going to kill you.
Right.
Right? So let's just keep doing this for a second. I want you to get so that you can, there you go. Good. Okay, all the way up. Good. That's great. Look at that.
Yep. My brain understands
Yeah.
what you're looking for.
And so again, if you don't get in a hurry
Yep.
and catching them on the ups, that's so much harder. I was just trying to demonstrate. So you're right there, you got in a hurry.
Yes, I did.
You caught that ball while it was still coming up.
Right.
So you are now fighting the energy.
Yep.
You're
that's
having to
too hard.
manufacture it yourself as opposed to stealing it out of the ball's natural cycle as it comes back down. right? A ball that, I taught this last time too, a ball that's falling 2 inches, just 2 inches, is going 2 miles an hour. A ball that falls a foot is going 5 miles an hour. When we hit our hardest shots, they're maybe 40 miles. We're dinking, what is it, 4 or 5 miles an hour? So if I can actually steal 2 miles an hour out of a shot that's just coming at us, and that's a big percentage, right? And if I do that, I can get all that impact, and I can do it every time. I'm now stealing power out of a natural ball fall versus being unaggressive and just doing that. I can come in to a shot.
Oh.
You're going too quick. You see that? You're trying to catch it on. You're trying to catch it on the early, and you need to be waiting, because not only that, then remember, you can see where I'm going. If I suddenly make a move because I'm going here, you can go over here because you got that. Right? So slow those down. Try and get behind the ball, let it fall, then attack.
2 thoughts at a time. My little tiny pea brain.
Good. There you go. Good.
Oh,
Got hurried.
shoot, that was a
hurried.
pitch.
Got hurried. That's so much better though already. Wait for it a little bit more. You're still going at it at the top. And what that does is you're hitting the horizontal shots, but you're not really incorporating the top spin.
So I should be hitting it here.
Yes, let it go down, yep. And instead of hitting it from at this point, hit it from down here, but be coming up on it as you do. And that will open up, time.
My brain
It opens
needs to
up.
open up to that
the
idea,
spin.
because logically, my brain is trying to tell me if you hit it here, it's going to go in the net. But that's not true.
That's not
So
true
it's
at
like
all.
I'm going against what my brain wants to hit, right?
So you get another classic example. If I incorporate that same thought into the entire game, everything from back here, I let the ball fall, I get a great amount of topspin. Versus if I come up like that, even though that was a great shot, that was not a good example, but it's just so much easier to be able to hit a ball that's coming down. If it's coming down and I try and chop it off, run it, you know, a lot of times people like to just cut the ball off. It's coming through, and they go to the point where it's crossing is where they head to, instead of allowing the ball getting behind it and doing that. You see what I'm saying? They end up cutting it off, short hopping it. They don't want to take the time to line up the shot.
Yeah, right. It's that whole following the trajectory to see where it's going instead of
Yes,
cutting
you
it off.
determining where it is
You're not
instead
gonna
of you
have as good
hitting
of
a
a shot.
desperation shot because you wanted to
Right.
hurry and get it
Right.
back on the other side.
Right.
Instead, you can take time, control it, tell the ball where to go, and
Yep.
give that shot some meaning and some purpose.
So I'm just saying, you're going to be in my head when you're not even there. I'm not
Good,
sure I
then
like that so much.
I've accomplished what I wanted. It's so easy, but we're like, there's hardly any effort involved with that because the ball is going 90 degrees to my paddle. But if I try and hit it where it's on its way up, I got to move the paddle all over the place. It gets ugly, right? I have no control. But if I let the ball fall and I keep it in the same spot, it's very, very easy to find out what that ball is going to do. Good shot. Now, right there, I let go.
Yep.
That's because of what I've trained myself to be able to do.
Right.
You had a very quick shot right there. And all I did now in the other reverse is I flicked it with this hand and got this paddle over there. So either one of them helps me. And that's why, again, though, I have to still tell myself right from the get-go when I'm drilling, I've got to incorporate this into my game or old bad habits start to come back. And I will have a game that resembles my old habits. But if I do this right off and I start thinking about this right now, that should transfer over into my first game.
So another thing that helps me is when I hear this, okay, so once my brain actually gets it, outside of the court when I'm not here and I'm thinking about pickleball, I can see it in my mind's eye. Like I can play it in my mind's eye. But you know, that sounds crazy, but it is a way that I train myself so that when I see it over and over in my mind's eye, I get on the court and I can see it. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Like a visualizing.
Correct. Yes. There's a lot to that. Sure. So, trading sides now. Good. Good. Good.
Oh, too much. I can't. And I hit it
Okay,
too
now
high.
try and go down the center line. So we're playing the middle here. Keep all your shots right down the center line. Okay? You're going for accuracy now. You want to try and... There you go. Nice. Good. Now, look at this. Oh, short hop. You want me to do it. Good. Uh-oh. That's all right. So try and work a little bit more on getting below the ball and finishing above it.
I didn't
Yeah,
lift it.
as soon as you get even with the ball, the only choice left is to try and save it by hitting a backspin cut, and now you're going against it entirely. You're following the ball at that point. And the only option is to now tip your paddle so that you can go up, and most of the time you'll end up hitting it in the net. So make sure you're below it and finish above it.
I knew right when I...
Yeah, going with the short hop.
Yeah.
So you might think about trying to take some of those out of the air a little bit more.
Oh.
And staying in it.
Sorry.
That's all right. That's all right. That is a shot.
Should have come down.
It was tough. But when you try and do that, just put it in the kitchen.
Oh,
yeah. Hurried up, didn't know what you were doing there,
girl.
kept the other hand on there for a while.
Yeah.
You're going fast. You're picking that up off the ground. That means you have to make up all that extra energy somewhere in your thought. You're hitting a different shot than if you had let the ball fall again. If I let it fall, I'm hitting the same shot over and over and over. But if I hit it anywhere from in there, I'm now hitting a different shot. See what I'm saying? That's different than a ball that fell 2 inches in the same slot. There you go. That's what I want to see. That's it. That's it. Good.
Too high, too high.
Whoa, there you go. Okay. Good. 2 hands on that forehand. That's not it.
Oh, that's my forehand.
Yeah, that's your forehand. Plus get it down lower. So think about the laser. Track it. Track it. Either shot. Track it. Ball, it's following it. See? Good. Tracking it. Tracking it.
Oh, I tracked it too far down that time.
Yeah, I don't think you were too far down that time. You were just too far away from it. So don't get in a habit, too, of
I have to remember,
reaching
too,
for a ball.
I'm against the wind on this side. It's a little different. You have to almost put a little more loft down.
So be behind it. There you go. That's it. So when you do that, this is what I want to see. What I ultimately want to see is, and the goal of it is, when you're dinking, you want to have a penetrating shot. You don't want a lollygag thing that's just like this. You want a shot that is going horizontal, diving, and landing at your feet. That is what my goal would be to my opponent, is to get control. If I'm the one that's hitting shots that are landing at your feet, you have no choice but to short hop and just hit a backspin back at me, and you're hoping I make a mistake.
Right.
Right?
It's defense versus offense.
It's defense versus offense.
Right, yeah.
And so you want to be able to do both. So you practice this, because this is the hardest part of the game, is incorporating topspin in the shortest part of the game. You see what I'm saying? And you watch those upper level players, and almost all of them use a topspin any chance they can. There's some players that use backspin really well, and they're dead accurate with it, but there are very few, right?
Yeah.
And I wouldn't necessarily teach it. It's within them.
Yeah, but this is a tool everybody should have in the tool.
Everybody should have this, absolutely. Even those players that will dink, they're usually cross-court dinking a backspin. But the backspin, when you hit a backspin, the only reason why I ever hit a backspin is defensively, it's to get the ball back over.
Right.
Because a ball that's backspinning checks up. If I got it past him, the natural reaction for the ball is to just pop back up. But if I have a topspin and I get it past him, that ball wants to shoot even further away from him. And that's why it's a more aggressive shot.
It is.
Yeah. So in my opinion, yeah, that's a great shot right there. Just got a little hurried and you didn't move your body out of the way, really. You just kind of, probably good enough. Good. So if you, I know you're watching your stuff, but if you're seeing what I'm doing everything that I've told you that I'm doing there. My hand's out here, I'm tracking the ball, everywhere that ball goes. And so all of my movements are very tight. It's always the full shoulder routine movement over, and I'm using those big muscles so that I don't have to do wrists. I'm using the big ones so that I can just go like that back. You hit it at me, I'm going back at you. And this stuff is the fine-tuned stuff. So if I go in here, then I can then throw it over after the end. But I don't even do that until I've already started the paddle in motion. The paddle's already going, and then it's an easy just continue it. Something in motion tends to stay in motion. So if I'm already going in the slot, it's already correct. And now I just have to give it a little bit extra, and there's my wrist flick on it. But it's all this first. Big muscles. And then the last little bit is the roll. Good. 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 Ah, that's it right there. You hit my feet area and I couldn't get it back up. Game is defense and offense, and who's going to win the battle? That's where the dinking then comes down into play is are you putting it in the slot? Are you getting the spin that you need for the shot that you want that will separate them out? Is it the shot that will be penetrating like that? Right? I don't know what they say. It takes 10,000 times or something to learn a new shot. You got a little sped up there. Get behind the ball. Even there, hold off. Holding off. Yeah, you still got to get in. You ended up tracking it, but then you pulled your paddle back.
I came like this.
Yeah, you pulled it back, and then you had to get below the ball stick, so you didn't track it all the way down.
and then I felt my paddle go like this instead of keeping it like that.
Yep.
Felt it right when I did it.
All bad combo of what's about to happen. Good. 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 Good stuff. Got me moving around.
And I stayed right here.
Yeah, and you stayed right here.
I didn't get pushed back.
Good.
I'll take it.
Oh yeah, look at that. You are a master at digging those off the ground. Right? So thanks for watching. I hope you got something out of this. Leave a comment for me. Give me a like. Help me out. Subscribe to my channel. If you want a lesson, contact me. I'd love to help you. I appreciate good comments. Only good ones, please.